Welcome back to HDTechLogic. In today's video I'll be doing a comparison and review of 3 different softwares for forms and surveys. Which one will come out better? Let's find out. So we've got to ask ourselves the next question. What software will we be testing? Well, we've got Microsoft Forms, we've got Google Forms, and we've got Ninja Forms. 3 very different but at the same time similar survey tools. Right, so here I am in the form, and these are some test responses, by the way. These are not real responses. I haven't actually asked people to do this. This is some responses that I've made for the video. So let's go in, and as you can see there's 3. So as you can see, it says your ideas for future uploads is the name of the form. As you can see, there's 3 responses, and it tells me the average time to complete, which is pretty useful, 2 minutes and 8 seconds, and the status is active, so the form is currently open. We can decide to delete all the responses, print the summary, or create a link that takes people to the summary. We can also click open in Excel, which will open it in an Excel document. So we can see view results, and we can see them individually, or we can have a look at them here. So firstly, let's look at view results, and as you can see, it's letting us see what they've put in. So we can see that John Smith submitted, and they suggested make a tutorial on whatever they suggested, and it tells me how much time they took to complete it as well. Second, we've got the person, Neil Rothers, and they suggested this sort of video. It took them 1 minute and 5 seconds to do this one. If we go to the third one by clicking here, we can see this person took 4 minutes and 52 seconds do the form, so obviously they stayed idle for a minute, but Mark Gareth decided to do an unboxing video suggestion, which was also pretty good. So if we go out of the view results pane, we can now go into the questions pane, so we can see number 1, your name. As you can see, the name was anonymous because they did not log into their Microsoft account. We can see their responses, so John Smith, Neil Rothers and Mark Gareth all decided to submit on that one because it was required. We can see their email addresses. Note, these aren't real email addresses, they won't go to anyone. Thanks. And then there's also this one, your suggestion. We can see it individually here as well. So all in all, I rate Microsoft Forms a 8 out of 10. It really does give you an in-depth summary of exactly what's going on, so it's pretty good indeed. I'd highly suggest it if you want to take a quick survey. Anyway, let's go on to the next one, Google Forms. Right, so now I'm in the Google form, and this is pretty similar to the Microsoft form, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top and click responses, and as we can see, it's got a different type but at the same time a similar type of response format. So let's go from top to bottom. So we've got 3 responses. Open Google Sheets, which will create a spreadsheet, and it will be a Google sheet, and it's basically where all the submissions will be logged on one spreadsheet. Here are your other options, so you can get email notifications from new responses. We can select the response destination, which can be the Google Sheets, or we can choose to unlink the form, download all the responses as .csv, print all the responses, or delete all the responses. We can also choose to stop accepting responses on here and choose a custom message as well. Now, we can also see a summary, question and individual. Let's go to summary first. And as you can see, it just gives us a quick summary as to the answers of the questions. So this is question 1, your name, and it tells us the quick summary, your email, and your suggestion. By question, you can choose who submitted, and you can choose their response. And it will take you to their individual one. Now, as you can see, Mark Gareth only submitted 1 response, and that is response 3, and it takes you to individual. Let's say you wanted to see who filled out the your suggestion one. you could do that as well. You can see exactly what they submitted. Now going over to individual, you can see exactly what the individual submitted. And it tells you the date and time at which they submitted as well. Yet it does not tell you at the current moment in time, which is July 2021, how long they spent on the page. Now, with all that said, let's continue. So, what is Google Forms rating? I'm going to say it's 6, 7 or 8. I'd say about 6.5. It gives you quite an in-depth look at the different responses, yet it does not give you how much time it took them to respond, which can sometimes be very vital for some people to know. Anyway, next one, Ninja Forms. And here we are on the final form builder, Ninja Forms, and I've already selected what we need to do here to get to the submissions page. As you can see, we've got submission 1, 2 and 3, the first name in the submissions box, the last name, the email address, and the suggestion and date. We can filter between the different forms. We can choose some bulk actions. We can choose a begin and end date to filter it by then, or we can choose to edit, bin or export individual submissions. Now bin will just bin it, export will export it, but edit allows you to choose exactly what happens here. So it's pretty good indeed. It lets you edit their submission as well if you deem it unnecessary to your form. So all in all, Ninja Forms is pretty good, but as you can see, it took me much less time to explain it than it did with Microsoft Forms and Google Forms. So I'm going to give Ninja Forms a 4 out of 10 for their submissions, because it does let you see it and it does give you filter options, but it's not that good compared to the others. Anyway, let's go back to the main video. And that's the video. So hopefully you enjoyed it and found it useful. If you did, please consider subscribing, or if you don't want to subscribe, just leave a like on the video. It helps with the algorithm then. But I will of course leave the links to all of these platforms in the description of this video, and I just want you to know that to use Microsoft Forms you need a Microsoft account, to use Google Forms you need a Google account, to use Ninja Forms it's not its own platform, it's a plugin for WordPress, so you need to have a WordPress website to be able to do that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.